So today I'm actually working on something that I honestly didn't think I was going to be doing until springtime, and that is planting some apple trees here in the fall. And the reason being is my husband got an apple tree for his birthday, and I ended up getting another apple tree that will pollinate this tree. So I'm just gonna go ahead and get it done this fall. So this morning I actually came out here and measured all of my measurements to exactly where I want these apple trees. So I wanted these apple trees to be somewhat close to my other orchard. Now this tree right here, this oak tree, actually has the hydrant on the other side. So I can just string out a hose over here, and then I can still string the hose out over there. So it'll still be kind of simple for me to water these next year if I have to, because they're fairly new and young. And this is actually the only spot that I could really think of right now that gets some sun. Now it doesn't get full sun, so I'm a little worried about that because we do have oak trees all the way around here in the front yard. But I'm just hoping for the best, and I really hope this spot works because it's a beautiful spot. The grass is really green right here, and one of these holes that I'm working on digging is actually really easy to dig. The other one's kind of hard, but I'm halfway through digging these holes right now so I can get these trees in today, and then I'm going to mulch around these trees really well, and I am going to have to put some fencing up so the deer do not eat these trees this winter. So that is on the to-do list to get done today. I'm so excited because one of these trees is absolutely like taller than me. This other one is a little shorter, which is totally fine. He said that these trees are 2.5 years old, so he said next year they will bear fruit, but I might go ahead and take the fruit off next year so they can be a lot healthier and grow better fruit in the years to come. So I'm really excited that I actually found these local. What better way to support somebody in your hometown? I'm so happy that he is offering trees to sell, and they're a really amazing price, and he actually has quite a bit left over. I told him this next spring I'll probably going to get some maple trees from him because me and my husband love maple trees in the fall, and I will be planting them everywhere around our property. I just cannot wait. So I'm gonna have to start saving my money for next spring so I can buy a bunch of maple trees. So this will actually make 4 apple trees on our farm now. So I'm so excited to have this many apple trees. It's plenty of apple trees for our family. I'm sure in the future we'll be able to share to a bunch of family members and friends. So I'm happy that my mother-in-law decided to get one of these trees for my husband's birthday. I feel like it's actually my birthday because I absolutely love planting fruit trees. So excited that she decided to do that for him, and I am so excited that I actually went and got another tree just so they can pollinate each other and I don't have to worry about it next spring. The faster I get these in this fall, the faster they grow and establish, and the faster we get fruit. So I'm so excited to get fruit in the next 2 years. Looking forward to all the apples that we're gonna get. So this hole has been super difficult. I mean, I'm just now getting these tiny little rocks. There's hardly any soil at the layer at the bottom down there. I put some water in here to kind of loosen stuff up, but I say I'm not even halfway yet of digging this hole. So all the other fruit trees, I actually dug all the holes for those. And if I get to a tight spot like I am this one, my husband usually takes over when he gets home from work and digs the rest out for me. Now this one over here is actually really easy to dig out. I'm not even 2 foot just yet. I'm more than 1.5 foot already, but I need to dig out just a little bit more before I plant this new tree. So for some reason this soil is actually really nice. You can just see how dark, and it actually looks like dirt. I mean, look at this. It's actually really pretty dirt. So I'm not worried about this hole here, but I'm just... It's such a difference coming over here, and actually this top layer of dirt here, it's nice, but I am starting to pull out big chunks of rock like this, and they're really sharp rocks in here. You can see here, I mean, listen to this. Sounds like creek gravel. This is what I'm working with the soil that we have here. So that's the layer that I'm working on down here. Really hoping that this apple tree will establish here, just because we are having this type of rocks down here. So hopefully it's not a failure planting this tree right here, which I'm already dug this much already. I'm going to continue to work on this until my husband gets off work. Okay, so I've been working on this for an hour. This is the original one I started with. So I got down to a certain layer and it's just nothing but this creek gravel stuff. So I moved over here, started digging out another hole, and I filled this one up with water to see how it's going to drain, because you can see over here I filled this one up with water probably about 30 minutes ago, and it's still holding water. It doesn't drain very well. So I'm trying to see if the certain layer is going to have just as many rocks as this one over here did. I really hope not. I still got like another foot to dig on this one. I at least want to try to get these at least 2 foot deep. That's what I did with my orchard over there. So this one over here, I think I got like 4 to 6 inches to go until it's 2 foot deep. I filled it up with water to kind of loosen up more of the soil. It has really good soil in it. I'm not worried about this spot right here. This actually is probably going to grow a really good fruit tree. I'm just honestly worried about this section right here. So in looking over here where the cows come in and out, I mean, look at this rock. This is like concrete rock right here where the cows come through. So I'm kind of guessing this is kind of going to be the same. I mean, look all these rocks that I dug out of this hole. And this is probably a little over 1 foot deep. So I put all the huge rocks to the side. I still want a few small rocks in here because I don't want to make it too fluffy of a soil, because once the fruit tree's roots get to this hard soil, it might not want to go through the hard soil. So a few rocks back in here whenever I fill everything back in when the tree's in here. Definitely that's fine. I like a couple rocks, but nothing really big and nothing too sharp. So this soil actually looks okay, way better than this first one that I started digging out. So, but I'm not to that spot yet where it's deep enough to see if it's going to be the same type of gravel stuff as this stuff. So let's hope not, because I really want these fruit trees in this spot right here. So my hands are actually starting to wear out a little bit. I'm getting a little tired of working on this. So I'm gonna stop there for now. I've been working on this for an hour and a half straight and I am getting so tired. So I am just gonna call it quits. I literally only have 4 more inches on this hole. It's not that much, but I am just so wore down that I'm just gonna have to have my husband finish this one up for me. And then the other one, I don't even know, I'm probably right at 1 foot, and it's just been difficult busting through all that soil and rock. So I'm just gonna have to call it quits for right now. It's getting late anyways. We have plans tonight. I'm just gonna have to just put this on hold for the next 2 days, and then hopefully we can get these trees in. Since we've been working on our field in the back, my husband actually has the rock bar. I usually use a rock bar to break through the soil. That's what I did with my other fruit trees. So he actually has that rock bar in his truck at work right now. I haven't been able to use that rock bar, which would have made my life a little bit easier than just using a shovel and this post hole digger, but I almost got this one hole done, so I'm really proud of that. But it's just 4 more inches, so it won't be too terrible for my husband to get the rock bar and dig out the rest of this 4 inches, and then I can probably get that one planted really soon. But this other one is going to take some time. I just hope I'm not setting myself up for failure on this next hole that I've dug out, just because it just looks really rocky and just really just like creek gravel. So I'm just hoping that I'm not making a mistake planting this in this hole, knowing that this soil isn't very good. I just hope that this tree grows, so let's just hope for the best. I know a lot of these holes that I did on my regular orchard was the same type of soil, and they're actually surviving, and same with my maple trees. So I shouldn't be too worried about planting this tree here. It just concerns me just a little bit. So we'll see in the next year or 2 and see how the tree's doing. So I'm hoping that we don't have to replace it just because we picked a really poor spot. But in all, I'm proud of myself today. I'm really wore down. I'm gonna be so tired tomorrow at church. It's just part of it. So I'm just gonna move on, take a break, walk away, and then we'll finish up in the next 2 days. So it did end up being 2 days later that the whole entire family got involved to finish up planting these apple trees, and it made my heart so happy. I love that my kids love to get their hands in the dirt and plant things, and they absolutely enjoyed planting these trees this day. Of course, one of them just likes to stand and watch. I was so excited to get these in the ground just because we have so many other projects to get done before winter hits. So one thing that I actually like now is that now that we have 4 apple trees, they are all different varieties, and I just absolutely like that because, for one, not all of them are going to taste the same, and 2, we can definitely see like which ones we're going to really like compared to all the other varieties. So what I really like to do before I even pick out a variety to plant, I go through and research everything about the apple tree, and I actually go to the reviews and see what the customers have to say about the taste of the apple and then how well it has grown for them. I also like to research about if the apple turns brown really fast or if it's a really good keeper and it stores really well for a long time. It's just really good information to know, just because if you have so many apples coming on at one time whenever your tree is mature, you have to go somewhere with all these apples and preserve them. So if you're having an apple that turns brown really fast, you have got to get it preserved into whatever you're going to make. Or if you have a really good storing apple, you can just put it in the crisper in your refrigerator for so many months, and it's really good to eat fresh. And another thing I like to look into if it's disease resistant or not, because it'd just be easier to care for and they're very low maintenance. So that's just a few little tips to know before you just up and buy an apple tree at a store. Alright, I just finished up putting the fencing around, putting the tree collars on. My husband watered it all before I came over here and did all this, so we put like a half a bucket to a bucket full of water and watered it in, and I think that's the only type of watering that we're going to do for the rest of the fall season. So we laid some mulch down pretty thick. I learned over the years, if you don't lay it thick, it breaks down so quickly through the winter. So I try to do as thick as possible so this will last up until next spring and I'll have to redo it. I'd like to mention real quick, the reason why I'm putting these cages on is because we have a lot of deer and they like to eat our apple trees and all kinds of stuff. So this helps just keep the deer away. Eventually I'm going to have to put some T-post in and pull up the wire because the deer will be able to reach over and eat the tree. So that one over there is actually tall enough for them to do that. So I'm going to have to at least do that to that one, and then this one eventually. It's not that high up, but they can reach over and eat the top of these trees. So I will have to start putting T-post in and bringing up this cage a little bit, probably about half a foot to a foot off the ground, and then the tree collars will protect like rabbits and all that kind of stuff that come and nibble on the trees. So another tip to know is that I have a garden book that I have made for myself, and I have my main garden, and I have my berry patch, and I have my fruit orchard, and I write down every variety that I plant in this garden book. So every year, if I forget variety that I have, I just go back in there and see what variety I have. I write everything down in this garden book, and it has been so helpful because I have actually went back multiple times to look at what varieties of fruit trees that I planted, because these tags on here don't last very long and they end up falling off. And same goes for like strawberries and all this other stuff. It's just really good information to write down, because eventually you will forget what varieties that you plant. So it's a really good tip to know. So I don't think I really mentioned this in the very beginning. I have talked about it a little bit, but I like to dig out the soil 2 foot deep as much as I can. I like to get close to that 2 foot mark just because it's recommended to go 2 foot. So if it's recommended, I've done it to my other orchard and it's doing great. So now that I've done these, I'm hoping that this poor soil will be just fine. I have poor soil all around this hill, so I don't think it'd be much different for this tree, but there was quite a bit of rocks in this one compared to all the other holes that I've dug out, but I have hope for this. I know some rocks are good, you know, for plants, so we'll see how this tree does in the next couple years. I hope you guys enjoyed this video today. I hope it encourages you guys to plant trees in the fall like I am for the first time. I'm so excited to see how this works this fall. I've never planted a tree in the fall, so I'm going to compare it to planting in the spring. So I might actually like planting in the fall better just because I don't have to water as much. So we'll see next year. I'll keep an update on next year on how these trees are doing. But thank you guys so much for watching today, and I hope you guys subscribe to our channel, like our page, comment down below, and we'll see you guys on the next video.